and welcome to the MyWhoosh Sunday Race Club. With 4 race starts, we're going to start with our Category 4 riders, then 3, 2 and 1. Our riders lined up in yellow, that is our Category 1 riders. In green, our Category 2. In blue, Category 3. And Category 4 in red. Now Mika Soderstrom is going to kick into this sprint. Soderstrom, very active here today. And a lot of riders do not want this to be.
The yellow vertical line giving an indication of where the riders are at the moment. But look at the effort, look at the work to stay in this leading group. It is hard. The pack now is stretching. Take a look at the bottom left-hand corner of your screen. The yellow jerseys are scattered down the hillside as Guerra closes onto the back of Bruni. They're closing down McCarthy because McCarthy has decided it's time to go. Bruni, Guerra, Kolczynski. They are not letting her go anywhere at the moment. The kick is coming big at the moment from Hill. 10 watts per kilo from Hill. She's got to still run to the line. That yellow banner is not it. It's the UCI banner further down the road as Philippa Hill. Pace is now dropping off, but Hadlock's there. Hyde is there. Take a look at Hadlock. We're in with her at the moment. You can see the effort in real life from Angel Hadlock. Can she take this from Philippa Hill? Philippa Hill, I think, is going to take this. Philippa Hill takes Category 3. Idzik has kicked at 10 watts per kilo. Natalia Idzik is going for this. She's absolutely off the front. She's in the polka dot skin suit at the moment. That's the UCI banner. What can the riders behind do? Not a lot, because Idzik's going to take the win today. So Natalia Idzik takes the win today.
So Mary Kate McCarthy, your world champion, who took that title in Abu Dhabi in that live final. For the UCI, powered by MyWhoosh, makes her way to another UCI banner. This time it's going to be for the win on the MyWhoosh Sunday Race Club. The world champion, your winner here today, it is Mary Kate McCarthy, winner of the Sunday Race Club qualifier race number 3.
But Philippa Hill in Category 3 is going to take the win today on the road, and the win in Category 3. Philippa Hill, Sunday Race Club, November final. Watch her go underneath the UCI banner. Your winner today, Philippa Hill, Category 3.
Hello and welcome to the MyWhoosh Sunday Race Club. It's qualifier race number 1. It's December. My name's Matt Payne. I'm going to be bringing you all of the race action along with Emma Martin down here in the studio. Since last we were on the Sunday Race Club, we have changed countries, we've changed studios. But what's going to be the same is going to be the same exciting racing out and around the roads. I'm really looking forward to it. I know Emma is as well. As you saw, we had an amazing November. December promises to kick off with a bang in California.
It does do indeed, because it's qualifier 1 for December, and we are heading to California for the women's race today. 35 kilometers of racing, 500 meters of climbing, and that is what lies ahead of our women. So out of the start pen through downtown LA, the amusement park, Area 52 and the Golden Gate, all 4 sprints before they hit the Hawk Hills. 1.1 kilometers, 4.8%, and it comes at 23.6 kilometers into the race. They then travel through the Western Movies set sprint before the big climb of the day on Spring Road. 6.3 kilometers, 4.4%, and the checkered flag, well, it's just over the top.
It is. It's going to be a tough day for many today with that climb at the end. Our Category 4 riders are our first set of riders away. Category 4 leaving 5 minutes before Category 3. They leave 5 minutes before Category 2, who leave 5 minutes before Category 1. So Category 1 have basically got what is 15 minutes to make up on Category 4 if they want to catch them before the finishing line. Remember, the prizes are per category. The Category 4 riders in those red jerseys lined up on the start, in with Gina De Grazia, one of our real regular riders, really talented racer, taking to the start line. It's time to go racing here on MyWhoosh on the Sunday Race Club. Away go Category 4. big pack of riders, Emma, a group of very talented riders, and a group of riders that, if you looked at this list, I think on this course, it makes it even more difficult than normal to pick out a winner.
Well, it's interesting. 126 women on the start sheets today, 34 of them in category 4. Now, that doesn't mean that is the number of riders starting, but those are on the start list. And I'll tell you something, there's a story today of movement in both the women's and the men's race field. And I think that's going to be really interesting as we progress through the racing today for Qualifier 1 in December. Now, the women have only been to California twice before. Qualifier 3 in August, Qualifier 2 in October. And I think this is going to be really interesting because, as I like to say, you've got to have raced a course 2 or 3 times before you really get the gist of it. And Gina Di Grazia in the pack here in category 4. She come down from category 3, so interesting to see the movement up and down. Georgina Jones has gone up from category 4 to category 3. That's going to be an interesting mix. But a number of riders riding really strongly in category 4, I think, are going to be part and parcel of a mix. Di Grazia may well be one. Alzat definitely. Arrayas, Zagula, Lopez, Kirchner, Vink, Sonnerson, Goodall, I think, Bago, Idzik, Sarasu potentially. Tanglin and Francis, I think, may well be there. And do you know what? You never know about Bridget Bremner either.
You don't. Now, interesting to see that as we were watching Gina Di Grazia, they're taking on board some fuel already. Now, depending on where you are in the world, and Gina, do let us know on the message on Instagram. Get in touch with me. It's at Matt Fix the Pain, or of course at Biking Emma, Biking_Emma. My apologies for Emma on Instagram. Gina, get in touch. Tell us what were you taking on board? What's your favourite race fuel today? What have you got on board? Because that did look particularly good. Because I am quite hungry, I have to admit. And I'm not racing. I'm just sat in the studio.
Fuel versus race fuel.
Yeah, I think it's probably the difference between coffee and something more nutritious.
I know Natalia Idzik is a great baker.
No way, really?
Oh yeah. If you follow Natalia Idzik and on social media, you will see the most amazing bakery creations. And it's always interesting to see what hidden talents or not so hidden talents our racers and riders had. They are just not cyclists. They have a massive array of skills and talents as well. And Idzik is one of those, definitely. Giraldo, Warren, all in the mix here. Kirchner is here as well. And it's great to see Emma Sonnerson right at the front of the pack. You know, Arrayas is there as well. Kirchner as they're coming through Toon City. I do like this world. I have to say, I really, really enjoy riding in California.
I was just taking a little look. It may be Natalia Idzik's first time actually on this course in category 4. So we'll have to see how she gets on. I was just checking the times up the Hawk Hills, the first of the categorized climbs, and it's a 3-minute 20 climb for category 4. So it's going to be tough stuff. And that's just the first of our categorized sections. The Spring Road climb is definitely a lot longer than that, but we'll get to that a little bit later on. All 4 categories on your screens. You can see category 4, bottom right-hand side, already up and racing. Next category away are going to be category 3. Counting down those categories, the Gear Goddesses here, represented by Danny Giraldo and Catherine Tompkins, and the Grind My Gear squad, the ever-regulars Tanya Howeiler, Novelinka Conan, and Angel Ann Hadlock. And good Team Golden Light, actually represented by Golden Light here today as well. This race field, Emma, in category 3, I think it has the potential today actually to be one of the closest race categories. I know we usually say that about category 2, but I think today, category 3 for me, I think could well be the one that is super, super tight, particularly going into the middle section of that last climb.
Well, you know, we had some very, very close racing in categories 2, 3, and 4 last week on the Paso Alto. Category 3, the top 4 riders were within 10 seconds of each other. So always interesting to see how close this is. And I'll tell you, 32 riders on the start sheets here in category 3. We'll talk a little bit more about them as they leave the pen, but it could indeed be really close. The top 2 teams last week, just 30 seconds separating them. Now, category 3 we are in with at the moment as we're watching them leave the start pen. Ultramarino is here, Geraldo, Marshall, Elos, and there indeed, look at that, straight in with Angelica Ultramarino. You can see her on your screen and in her pain cave as well, as this is a fast push out the start pen, actually. Takanas is here. She's strong. She could go well today. So is Kim Bonilla. So I'm really quite looking forward to this race field. 32 riders on the start sheets in category 3. Now, I am going to give you a little bit of interesting news because Philippa Hill has gone up to category 2. We saw her really dominant in the rewinds at the top of the show, and interesting to see that progressing because she really, really has been riding strongly.
And well deserved to move up, really. Yeah. I mean, I have to say, that the rewinds really did show. She was... And she didn't just sit there and then just take it at the end. She was dominant. She really, really stamped her mark all the way across the racing in November. I mean, it does leave category 3 open, doesn't it?
It does, and it's really interesting. I think it's going to make it even closer racing, particularly if a group goes into the final, because the final stages, because Philippa Hill had such a sprint on her that she was just so dominant going into those last 200 metres. And I think this is really going to open up the eyes of the category 3 riders, and they're going to think they really can mix it together, and nobody knows who's going to take the sprint at the end. Now, De Grazia could well be in there. Van Rossum was second in the final, Vasquez third. Gemma Daniels, interestingly, has only recently joined the Sunday Race Club. She was fourth in that final last week. Hadlock was fifth, very much ever present with that Grind My Gears squad. Bergin here, Chudzikowicz here, Bonilla, Takanas, Simkin, Rebecca Johnson could go well today, and Stefani Piccolo. So it really is a strong, strong team of category 3 riders.
It is, and you mentioned Melissa Simkin here. She actually holds the course record in category 3 on our final climb of 17 minutes 24. I mean, it shows you just how tough that climb is. Now, that was set in September, 15th of September. So Spring Road climb at the end, when you've got Simkin in here, and she's on our screens, just showing that she is here and present. Gotta be one of those riders to watch. Hadlock was 4 seconds slower that day, as was Herrera, who's not in the race today. Then it was Takova, Russum, Vasquez, Howeiler, Barragan, Piccolo, Hyde, De Silva, Johnson. So it's going to be really interesting to see how it mixes up with that big climb at the end. I mean, it's not Jebel Yace, it's not Jebel Hafid, it's not Paso Alto, where it did go on for kilometres and kilometres, but it is long enough at 6.3k to be a tough finishing climb. And we're going to see a little bit of that on the way through, aren't we, on that little bump before Area 52?
We do, and it's interesting because there are some steep sections on the Hawk Hills, which is the first smaller climb. It does kick to around 10%, and on Spring Road, the average gradient is 4.4, but there are lots of steps, so there are some micro rests available, or places where you can just push to get the KPH higher.
Well, let's see who's going to be riding up there the fastest, who's going to have the highest KPH when we get there. At the moment, en route, we have categories 4 and 3. Category 2 will be our next group of riders to go. There are riders in the green jerseys. Category 1 waiting the longest for their start if they all jumped into the pen at the same time, because, of course, they're the riders in those yellow jerseys. Now, Maria Marb sat down on our start line, one of our Category 2 race field. The Category 2 riders all riding as individuals here today. The fastest rider up Spring Road climb that is with us today is the person who actually holds the course record in Category 2. Emma, any guesses out of our race field who it is?
Oh, my goodness.
I'd love putting you on the spot.
Put me on the spot.
Take a pick. You've got a 1 in 30 chance here.
I've got a 1 in 30 chance. I am going with Category 2.
Yep.
Vittori.
Nope.
Oh, who is it?
Germain Prado.
Oh, do you know, I very nearly said Prado.
And do you know what? Germain Prado took it.
I thought she was too obvious a choice.
13 seconds. I know. Well, to be fair, if you look at the race field, pretty much everybody up there is right on the leaderboard. So it was a bit of a harsh question. So I'm not going to apologise for it, but I do understand not getting that answer. I wouldn't have got it right either. In fairness, I wouldn't necessarily have gone with Jeremy Prater because she's such an all-rounder. I think we sometimes miss the fact that she's such an amazing climber. So category 4, 3, 2, and 1 hit the roads of California, one after the other. The first of our group's way was the category 4, followed by category 3. This is category 2, out and away from the race pens, in with Sylvia Guerrea at the moment as we head off from that start line. Remember, we're going to go down, we're going to take a right-hand turn. And as they approach the crossroads, we're actually going to see some of our category 4 riders approaching from the left-hand side on this loop around as the roads whiz around. The riders out and taking to the California roads. Roads you can ride here on MyWhoosh as well. Now, category 2, leaving the pens, heading out at the moment. They take that right-hand turn. The category 4 riders could just see category 2 just in front of them there. I absolutely love it when our groups come together. So category 4, Imogen de Gracia, the sprint leader at the moment. Sprint points are allocated. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1 for positions 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Each of our sprints. So today with 5 sprints, that means the maximum points are 25 points available. Each set of riders, each category of riders, categories 4, 3, 2, and 1, have the sprint jersey up for grabs in their category. They also have the mountain points jersey, and no prizes for you for guessing that it's a polka dot jersey. Each of the sprints and each of the climb segments indicated by an arch, green for sprints, polka dot for arches. One rider who will be looking for the final arch, the final gantry, is going to be Sophie Giovanni. Sophie Giovanni, one of our very strong climbers, a rider who really is good at tapping out of rhythm. You can see sitting very smoothly there on the bike. The Italian at the moment took nicely into the leading pack in category 2. And we have seen riders being distanced here, Emma, already in category 2. At this stage, I mean, category 2 riders generally, if they're on form and moving well, they're in the group. If they're out the back, it's usually not because they've missed it, because they're not on it. It's because they're actually just going to ride and use this as a qualifying ride by getting a verified ride riding round, or they've got other targets today because they're doing a lot of racing.
They are, and we often talk about this, don't we? That, you know, you can't be on peak form week in, week out, 52 Sundays of the year. And the Sunday Race Club does indeed run every single Sunday throughout the entire calendar year, the 12 months. Julia Montgomery, one of the riders who is very much ever present. And that is really interesting to see. Now, you can't be on top form for 12 months. Solid. And so some of our riders who are ever present do indeed, some of them right at the 4 in the top 5, mixing it up and really on peak form. Others choosing to get a qualification ride to focus on the final. Others having other races and outdoor activities and a whole range of life going on. And that all plays a part in what happens on a Sunday. Well, we're in with Claudia Hyde at the moment in the category 3 race. She's right towards the front of the group with Marshall and Jones. Tompkinson is there as well. Hadlock right at the front. Now, this group rolling and rolling strongly. Coming up for the 5-kilometre marker. They are about to go through the amusement park sprint, which is the second sprint on the course.
It is. Your timing was impeccable. I was literally just about to have a drink from my Abu Dhabi Cycling to Water bottle.
Should I tell you something that's quite interesting?
Carry on, yes.
On the first sprint of the day, Category 4 top the leaderboard at the moment. Both Category 4 and Category 3 race fields have been through that sprint. Category 4, the entire race field going through ahead of the Category 3 race field.
Well, the way that Category 3 are riding at the moment,
they're having a nice ride.
I would suggest that we may well see the same again with Category 3, saving their energy for later. Just seeing a little bit of a push on at the very front there in Category 3 as they go through that sprint. Category 1, well, they're ready and poised. All good to go. Our Block International, represented by Lisa Manson, Maria Holcroft, and Mika Soderstrom, along with Tiffany Penner. The Affittive Skier squad also. Another squad with 4 riders, Amelia Van Hove, Joanna Kalman, Carolina Kokolowitz, and Roberta Bissoni. 3 riders for the Sweat Sensations and Thundercats. Sweat Sensations, it is going to be Amelia Velt, Catherine Furr and Mel Bruni. The Thundercats, Kirsten Kolczynski, Marlene Bjarhead, and Celine Columbi. That's just under half of our race field, and our riders are about to hit the start line, hit the pedal and push away from the start. Those turbo trainers will magically disappear just like that, and away we go. It's time to go racing. All of our racers and riders are away. At the moment, Category 1 leaving us a bunch. At the moment, Julia Montgomery not waiting for the bunch and pushing on through here, being chased here by Jenny Daniel. I think Jenny Daniel is very aware that Julia Montgomery has got the potential to solo away from this race field and actually put in a seriously big time gap if they let her go. So Montgomery on the front of Category 2, their top right-hand side of your screen in green. Bottom right-hand side of your screen, it is Gina De Grazia that we are looking at in Category 4. Now onto the big screen. Category 3, well, at the moment it is Bonilla. It's Marb in Category 2. And in Category 1, the last riders away, they've covered 500 metres of 35 kilometres. So plenty more distance to go. Emma, this race route, now we've got all of our riders away. Let's talk about Category 1 riders on this race route, or Category 2. Take your pick.
I was going to say, we still have not touched Category 2, but we can do that in a short while. There's Gabby Guerra and Kristen Kolczynski. This is an interesting duo. Take a look at the pace on this race. They are coming up to 40 kilometres an hour. They are not even 1K in yet, and the stretch on the Category 1 pack, really strong. Kolczynski and Guerra right at the head of the four, and we're in with Guerra down in the pain cave. You can see the look of concentration on her face, the cadence on her leg. She's really pushed out of the pen. She's got Guerra, Sidlick and Kolczynski. Those three are the riders that we are looking at the moment. McCarthy is doing the chasing. Tomasi is there as well as Bjarhead. Now, Francesca Tomasi is an interesting rider, new to the Sunday Race Club, Italian time trial specialist. She was 37th this year in the Giro d'Italia Donna. Cracking rider. This is going to be
Forza.
This is a rider. It's going to be really, really interesting to see how she adapts to the Sunday Race Club, and I'm really interested to watch her progression as the weeks progress.
And we know that when world class, and you can't ride the Giro Donna without being world class. To just to finish a Grand Tour, but to be world class, when you come and race on the Sunday Race Tour, when you are racing the best esports riders, cycling esports riders in the world, that is a whole different kettle of fish. And to quote Peter Sagan, well, he figured he wouldn't finish in the top 50. Well, that is a man who's a 3-time world champion.
I tell you, we have other new riders in Category 1 today. Brigitte Filensky has come up from Category 2. She recently joined the Sunday Race Club, and she slotted into Category 2 at the top, and she was really, from day one, on fire, regularly finishing in the top 10, the top 5, and taking wins. So her progression, really great to see, and I think she'll go well here. Megan Stevens, from the USA, joining the Sunday Race Club. She's from Texas. A lot of gravel in her background, so long endurance. That's going to be interesting to see as well. Roberta Bassoni going well. Mina Koivunen is back from illness, and I think I've seen Jacinia Menendez as well. Great to have her back too.
Filensky's moved up. Her fastest time on the final climb will put her in the top 15 climbers.
Yeah, she's good
in Category 1.
She's good.
That is how quick she is. She is really, really good. So I mean, I think, as you say, going to be very much at home here. I think this is a course that suits a rider who can climb and who is strong as well. I have to say, Catherine Furr. If Catherine is back to her best, and I know has been a bit under the weather, could well be the rider to watch. I love the board directly in front of the bike. And the second word there is...
Inspirational quote.
Sweat. In the biggest writing. It's a bit like an optician's board.
She is part
I can read the biggest name on there, the biggest bit on that bit.
She's part and parcel of the sweat sensations.
Exactly.
You know? And having a bit of time off after the World Championships, and that bronze medal, and well deserved. Amelia Van Hove is in here in the mix. Dryhoven is here as well. it is a great, strong group.
It is a strong group here. So as they make their way through, we are in with our race leader in category 1. And you can see our Norwegian rider just on the front, just going to push through underneath the banner here as they go down through the downtown LA sprint. The sprints are today 200 meters. Proper sprint distance, none of this 300 meters stuff. Super short, super fast, and not really contested because with this being only the third time here, Emma, I think the riders are really, or fourth time here, they really are taking it steady. I think they've learned. First time it's always slow, as you said before in the shows, because you're learning the course. Then it gets quick on second, third time. But now when we're getting towards that sort of handful of times we've been here, riders are now pacing it better. And that means I think that they know where they need to kick. With this being heavily loaded at the back end of the course for climbs,
Yeah.
and yet you've still got one kicker coming up, and that comes basically after the amusement park sprint at 5.3k. You've got what is essentially another couple of k, and then it goes up, and it is quite a big climb before you drop down into the area 52 sprint at 11.3 kilometers.
Yeah.
So it is going to be interesting to see how those riders approach it. Category 2 on the way in there now, 6.7k underneath their wheels. Jill Pruitt at the moment, nicely tucked into that group, wearing the green sprint skin suit. Don't be fooled by the green shorts. So basically, green shorts means that you are a sprint rider. You can see our sprint leaders in all 4 race categories actually up there. Dijhoven, Pruitt, Bonilla, and De Grazia.
Well, Pruitt saying the fastest time through downtown LA sprint overall. In fact, that category 2 pack, really taking the top 15, 16 places there with a massively strong pace at that early point in the race. We're talking over 5 watts per kilo for the top 16 riders in category 2 through that segment. Gina De Grazia in category 4 slotting into 17th place, but it really was a story of the pace of category 4 and category 2 through the early part of the course today.
Now, a couple of bits of housekeeping as we make our way out and around category 2, start to hit that first climb. Not categorised, remember. It is not for points. It is all about the race positioning overall here, and it's quite a decisive feature. But a couple of bits of housekeeping for you. First of all, if you are watching on YouTube Live or on Twitch TV, we're not on the conversation feeds today. We have a multitude of screens, and none of them are on the live conversation today. So if you're messaging us on there, I can't see it, so I'm not going to respond. Do get in touch with us after the show, in part because we are actually juggling quite a lot of screens here and paperwork as well with all the notes, and also because we wanted to have a little bit of a check of our new riders as well. So extra info, because we've not learned, you can't learn everything in the space of about an hour and a half. We've tried, but we failed miserably. So we're not going to be on there. Other bit of housekeeping. Because I know I did mention I did mention Peter Sagan in conversation earlier. Check out Inside the Ride. It is brilliant. I listened to it yesterday on a drive coming back from the north of England to the middle of England, and it kept me very amused. I did laugh out loud and did have people looking at me very strangely as I was chuckling away in the van on the way back down again. It's well worth a listen. Inside the Ride, have a listen. Peter Sagan, whatever you think of Peter Sagan and his abilities, I tell you what, I've got a newfound respect for him. I thought he was very, very humble and very, very well. I'll hit. Let's see what you think. Let me know on @MattFixPaint on Instagram.
Well, let me just take you through the amusement park sprint, because we have just had the category 1 pack come through, and Van der Vie from category 2 saying the fastest time, 17.158 of a second. Gina De Grazia from category 4 maintaining that strong effort that we saw through the first sprint. Jessica Hamilton from category 4 in the mix as well. Jill Pruitt from category 2, Dijhoven category 1, Charles Bois from category 2, Yaramillo. Then we've got Embring Davidson and Kinsella from Cat 2, and it's still a little bit of that story of category 4 and category 2 really maintaining the pace here. Dijhoven and category 1 a little bit more in the mix, but for me the pace was off more in the other categories. Category 1 still rolling consistently and not picking up through the sprint.
And by off, Emma does mean slower, not like a pint of milk that's been left.
I would agree with you completely. And it does just mean the pace is off. Well, if you are joining us for the first time watching the Sunday Race Club, we have 4 race categories out on the course, all at the same time. Category 4 started first. They started 5 minutes before Category 3, who started 5 minutes before Category 2, who started 5 minutes before Category 1. So 15 minutes separating Category 4 from Category 1 out of the start pen. They are all indeed on the same course here in California. And the stats you can see on the screen at the top relate to the specific race fields and the person you can see we are watching in that race field at the moment.
Indeed, each one is individual to those riders. Each one tells you their stats. So how much power, how much pace, how much speed they're carrying, what they are doing in terms of heart rate. And remember, heart rates are, as Emma will tell you, individual. She'll tell you that particularly if you're with her on the live coaching. I know Emma's been doing a lot of live coaching. And the coaching isn't... Now, Emma, can you tell me, because I know you've done loads and loads of coaching over the last few weeks. It's not getting harder because you're getting fitter, is it? For everybody else, you're not suddenly. You're not
harder. You just go faster.
Okay, but everybody. That doesn't mean that you're making it even harder for everybody else, does it?
It might do.
Oh, okay. I'm sure it doesn't.
No. But we are indeed live coaching Monday, Wednesdays, and Thursdays, or at least I am. Mondays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays. There are other coaches.
Hey, there's no we in that.
There are. I meant as in the other team of coaches, not as in my co-commentator on the other side of the room. But yeah, there is indeed a team of coaches on the MyWhoosh live coaching function Mondays, Tuesdays, Wednesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays. You will find those sessions if you head to the main page on the MyWhoosh platform. And if you, when the little light goes red, it means there are coaching sessions coming up live. You just click on participate and then join the event as you would a race or anything else. And you can have a great time with a number of other riders on that live coaching session. And the interaction that you can have with the coach through the chat board or through any other means, really, really useful. And it does indeed mean that we get the hard work done together, and it's much more motivational.
Yep, lots of great feedback about the coaching sessions on MyWhoosh, so please do jump on board, have a go. Like anything, go have a try. Don't knock it till you try it. Give it a go. See what you like, whether you like it or not. You might find it's the best thing since sliced bread, or you may find that it's not your cup of tea. But whatever you want to do, jump on board. Lots of new events coming out as well. One thing, whilst we are just heading in towards our climbing section and over the top of that first climb section very shortly for Category 1, who are still pretty much all together, 1 or 2 riders being distanced, big packs in all the groups. One thing to remind you, please do enter. Do not miss entering on time the Echelon Racing League. Really, really important. Get your registrations in now. In fact, I'm banging on the desk so hard.
I don't quite know why he was doing that.
I was emphasising the point. You might not have heard it, but Emma definitely did. She's now deafened in both eardrums. It is going to be great racing. December the 7th, the 21st, the 28th, the 4th, the 11th, and the 18th. Really, really important, guys. Get in there. Now, Emma is going to be on the mic for them.
I am indeed, and I am just going to give you a little bit of further information because Matt's just given out the dates there. So you have until the 8th of January to register and join the Echelon Racing League. But obviously, if you wait till the 8th of January, you miss a large amount of the league. So the last race of the series is the 11th of January. The 18th of January is the Echelon Racing League Championships, and you have to be in the top 50 riders from the rest of the series to get into that.
And that's in each race category?
It is.
Category C and A, B, and C.
And let me tell you, so the A is obviously the elite. The B, I would say, strongly equates to around category 2 and 3, and maybe top 4 on the Sunday Race Club. Category C is open to anyone. First time racers, if you want to try racing a series and seeing your progression over the weeks, you can join. Just a note, if you are riding or wanting to ride the USA or the Canadian National Championships, you do need to register. You do need to have done your power passport by the 8th of January, and you have to have ridden one round of the Echelon Racing League.
Well, I'm sure Kristen Golczynski, who's on the attack, we saw her just go up over the top there on the power, 7 watts per kilo coming out from Golczynski as she went over the top, trying to emulate the move being made by Julia Montgomery in Category 2. You can see that has definitely shaken and woken up the riders. Montgomery on the right-hand side of your screen with a 3-second gap at the moment, just going over this little pimple of a hill that comes. It is basically the flyover after our big climb. It comes at 12k. It comes after the Area 52 sprint. Category 1, that move by Golczynski going over the top of the climb before Area 52.
Well, I can tell you, Kristen Golczynski is one of the 173 riders already registered for the Echelon Racing League.
And I'm sure we're going to see lots of great action. First course is on the Golden Gate Bridge in California.
Oh, just come and have a go.
Alcatraz. We're going on to Alula, MyWhoosh World. There's going to be some amazing racing. Do jump on board. Some great racing. Don't forget, of course, 22% of all the proceeds from the Echelon Racing League go to support Project Echelon's mission to educate, equip, and empower veterans through physical activity. If you haven't been on the site, go have a look. It is www.echelonracingleague.com. Please make sure you jump on board and go. Make sure you check it out.
And shall I tell you one thing to note? Whilst there is a requirement for USA and Canadian riders who want to ride the national championships to be part and parcel of the Echelon Racing League, it is not just open to riders from the USA and Canada. It is open to riders from all around the world. And I can tell you, Kim Bonilla, Ultramarino, Chudzekowicz and Hadlock are all on the start list as well, just to show you don't need to be from the USA or Canada to join.
No, so please do jump on board. You can find out the details on the MyWhoosh.com website as well. Live coverage coming out to you by the same production team that do the amazing job behind the images on Sunday Race Club. Emma will be there with Brad Sonner, the regular commentator over the years from the start of the Echelon Racing League. So that's going to be Emma and Brad for that one for you. And then Emma will be back in the studios again on Sunday morning on the Sunday Race Club with me, Matt Payne. It is a bit of a busy time here in the studios. We are hot seating backwards and forwards all the time.
Great.
But it's great, and great. Hopefully we're going to see you. We're going to see Joanna Kalman on the race start for that as well. Just one of the many events coming. We've got loads of them, but we're going to try and feature one or two in particular each week, just particularly when we're running into them. So hopefully we're going to see our riders on there. Now, Joanna Kalman, another of our very strong riders, and a rider again, another rider who has really progressed well and is, I think, very much at home here in Category 1, Emma.
Yeah, absolutely. And it is fantastic to see her as they go underneath the banner for the Area 52 sprint. Category 1 pack at 11.3 kilometres now into the race, and wanting to maintain being part and parcel of that pack. And take a look at that inspirational picture. Hey, there's also support in the room. I was just going to say the inspirational picture in the background, but there's an inspirational person as well.
Well, that is exactly what you know what I
love it.
Hello, Mum, I'm on telly. That's definitely one of those. And I love the fact that happy riders, smiley riders,
ride well.
They do ride well. Now, I think if Machusa's finished photobombing the shop, the screens will jump in with Joanna. Joanna Kalman, yet to get a win on the Sunday Race Club. But I can't imagine it's going to be long because she's been riding really, really strongly. 41 Sunday Race Club rides. Today, she's not going to figure on our leaderboard for the Area 52 sprint because category wouldn't have gone through, and they're not on it.
Well, yet again, it's category 2,
Yep.
and Van der Vie is the rider at the top, 12 seconds, 0.323, and the rest of them are closely packed behind because 0.2 of a second separating the top 10. That's one tight pack. Greer, Alberg, Davison, Yaramillo, Haag, Pruitt, Montgomery, Beltran, and Norden, all really in there. Do you know, Gabby Norden, I think, might go well today.
I think you're right. Do you know I'm going to make a prediction for Joanna Kalman's position? I'm going to predict that she is going to get 14th place because she's got an 18th and a 16th.
Well, I'll tell you something, who's looking for more than 14th today, Mary-Kate McCarthy and Gabby Guerra. Guerra instigated the push on this short rise at the moment at 12.5 kilometres. Engstrom, Larson, all in the mix. Velt is there too. Jacinia Menendez is up. Filensky, now we said she'd hang in the pack and ride strongly. She is. Mulbruni is here. Been really interesting following Bruni's riding out in the sunshine. She's been down riding on the beautiful islands off of Spain.
In the Balearic Islands.
There you go.
There you go. Yeah, indeed.
Beautiful. We've got lots of bees
stunning.
there. Bruni's beautiful Balearic.
Yes.
Islands doesn't fit, but you know, bike riding. Bike
riding. Yeah. Yep.
Bruni's beautiful Balearic biking.
Beautiful beaches.
She wasn't, well, she might have been on the beach, but she was
biking. I have to say, you can't go for it. Most of the resorts are actually on the beach, and it is a great way to get out and riding. Now, one rider who I know is going to no doubt be heading out to ride in the sunshine is going to be Holly Bergin. Bottom left-hand side of your screens at the moment in category 3 on the front of that front group, currently locked up in Alcatraz. I'm going to put a shout out for Holly. Holly has joined Twitch TV.
Oh, she has. She started live streaming, hasn't she?
She started live streaming. If you want to join the self-proclaimed, or maybe not self-proclaimed, I don't actually know where the nickname came from, but the Queen of Yorkshire, it is Holly Bergin. Do join her on Twitch TV. Give her a follow on her channel. She's also part of a podcast, which is, I can't even remember, I think it's a balanced podcast of some description. But she is indeed on YouTube there as well. So do catch up with Holly, and she will be riding in the sun because I think she's already signed up to head out to France on one of the Women's Weeks, if I remember correctly.
Yes.
So it's going to be good to see Holly out there.
She may well be on one of those full speed events, Women's Riding Weeks in France next year. So we're in with Filensky in category 1, we're in with Van der Vie in category 2, but we drop back in with the category 1 pack. They're coming up for 14 kilometres now of the 35-kilometre course in California. Who is dreaming of the win? Is it Fua? Is it Kalman? Is it Bassoni, Menendez, Sidlick? Sidlick's been going strongly recently, you know. It's been really good to see. Now, McCarthy, will she hang fire and wait until she gets to the Spring Road climb? Will Guerra go with her? Or will Guerra attack? I think Guerra and Kulczynski look a little lively today.
Well, I think, you see, I would go potentially at the Hawk Hills climb. I would want to break it and make it hard. And part of the reason for that is when you go over the Hawk Hills climb, yes, it's only 1.1k long, 4.8% average gradient. It comes at just shy of 24k. From the summit, you drop down. It's only about another k to quick drop down, and you climb almost immediately. The start of Spring Road is at 28.2k. So it comes basically within 3k, bearing in mind you've got 1k downhill, and it's not flat on the run into Spring Road. So if you put an attack on Hawk Hills early, break it, shake it, make people hurt, there's a limited amount of recovery they can do before you're going through Western Movie Set Sprint and into that climb and into the Spring Road climb. And I think that's going to be really, really key, irrespective of what category you're in, whether you're in category 1, 2, 3, or 4. That's going to be really, really critical. And we're heading now in category 4 and now at 22 kilometres covered already. You can see Isabel Alzat on our screens in category 4 there at 22k, at 20k, just shy of it's Angel Hadlock. We've got German Prado, the category 2 course record holder actually on the climb in the green in the avatar, and on our screens out of the saddle, just stamping on those pedals, going through. That looks to me like Alcatraz. It is indeed. There we go. That is definitely Alcatraz. And then on the left-hand side, you can see that we've got Catherine Fua at the moment sat down, pedaling smoothly through town at 15k.
And interestingly for me, there's around 2.5 kilometres between each of our race fields at the moment, which indicates to me that there is no race field particularly pushing on in the early stages of this race. We tend to see, with those 5-minute gaps, a gap of around 2.5 kilometres between each of the race fields when they start. And it gives us a great indication of which race field is pushing on and which race field is riding steady, notifying when those gaps start to come down.
Indeed.
And they're holding at the moment.
They're holding, and I think our snapshot of the sprints, which gives us that little window in, at the moment, not really telling us a great deal, because all of our riders just got rolling through. The riders fighting in their individual packs. But I have to say, one rider who isn't is definitely De Grazia today. Sprinting. Absolutely superb. I mean, that was a great sprint running in there at 22.9k, going through the Golden Gate sprint and just currently going over the Golden Gate Bridge just before we hit the Hawk Hill climbs. The biggest group on the road, well, difficult to tell at the moment, but Category 3 bunch is looking pretty big to me.
It is. The Category 3 bunch is rolling strongly, but so is this Category 2 group. There's still a lot of riders in this Category 2 group. As you mentioned, De Grazia, Charlebois, Bremner, Bago, Ferron is in there, Lopez, Giraldo, Sonneson, Lesferza, Warren, Izik, Alzat, Vink, and Zaluga. 14 riders.
So Category 4 group, big group there. Category 2 on your screen. Dega Mashandi in here. Another of our really strong riders. A rider who suits. I always think that Mashandi suits a really tough course. She's one of our real battling rider. One rider to watch today, I think that we really got to always bear in mind is Dorothy Gonzalez-Ruhr. She's a rider who likes a short, sharp, tough race and a big climb. With all this coming at the end, I'm not sure it's hard enough almost for her. She kind of, I almost think she needs something. She needs a race to be tougher, and I think it doesn't help because, if I was sitting in this bunch, I'd be taking the mickey a little bit and going, are we nearly there yet? Are we nearly there yet? Because you want to get to that, if you're that kind of rider that wants to be really aggressive and attack all the way through the racing, then, you really do want it to get to that 23.5k marker quick so you can get onto the climb.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Do you? You want to get there quick? You might just want to get there steady and then explode. And the explosive attack that is going on at the moment in Category 4. 14 riders went in together, and take a look at that bottom left-hand corner shot on the Category 4 screen. Gives you a great indication of what's happening in the racing at the moment.
On the front.
It is indeed. Gina De Grazia at the moment. And I'll tell you something, the other person who's pushing on at the moment is Bergen in Category 3. They are not at the climb yet, but they are well and truly on the way. So Gina De Grazia on Category 4 on the right-hand side of your screen, doing huge amounts of damage to this Category 4 pack. De Grazia, followed by Alzat. Zaluga is there as well. Then Bago and Sonneson are together with Idzik. Johanna Warren just a little bit off the pace because the pace is being set right on the front by Gina De Grazia. It's a long 10 kilometres to attack at 24k.
But this, I think, is Gina De Grazia's been sprinting well. This is a sprinty type of hill. Go into it hard because of the way this profile is. You can do a series of 3 sprints on this hill to get yourself over that 1k. You go hard early, you go hard in the middle, then you go hard at the end to go over the top. By treating it as 3 repeat sprints, you can put the climbers in trouble because if you're a good sprinter, you can lay that power down. That's great tactics, really racing to your strengths by Gina De Grazia there in Category 4. In Category 2, another attack, another racer on the move. Femke van der Vliet already on the move. The Netherlands rider trying to do a Fem van Empel of the Netherlands, who's racing in the World Cup cyclocross we'll be talking about for the UCI in a few hours' time. That's coming from Dublin.
Well, you can't keep
catch me on there.
You can't keep a rider who wears orange down.
You can't. I mean, Federico van Vliet, I mean, he's a classic Netherlands tactic, isn't it?
Ride hard.
Go to the front, ride hard, and ride everybody off your wheels. Look who's immediately chasing behind. Madonna Degum and Shandy, Maria Marb. We saw Dorothy Gonzalez-Rowe as well.
Alberg's
in there. Lundin's in there.
Yep.
They are, this is where, if you go on the attack, you also get to see who is up for it today. I mean, look at this. This is brilliant by
I'll tell you, she's going to go underneath the polka dot banner at the top of the Hawk Hills first. Alzat Sonesson, Bago Zaluga, Idzik, and have all come together. So 5 riders chasing De Grazia. The question is, can they bring her back?
And by doing this, you've narrowed down the race field. You've already made a selection here. So you are saying you're putting the racing down there. De Grazia now holds the polka dot jersey. She holds a green jersey. She is our sprint leader, our mountain climbing leader. Yes, we've got one more sprint. Yes, we've got one more climb to go. But by doing this, she now is in a position. She knows she's going to get caught probably by the 5 behind, but she can take it easy. She doesn't need to hammer the living daylights out of the pedals at the moment, because going over the top now, she can get some recovery, get ready. And this would be really telling. She's going to have a lead in that sprint competition. Will she then attack on the climb when we go into Spring Road? We'll have to see. Category 2, well, they're at 21.6k at the moment. So they are currently 2k out from that self-same Hawk Hills climb. And it looks like Van der Vliet just being pulled back into the pack. At the moment, they are closing in, though, on Category 3 riders.
Well, they are, but look at the size of that pack.
Huge group.
They have not lost many riders from that start, and all the packs other than Category 4 really, really rolling now, and still of a large size as they're starting to come towards the Hawk Hill climb at that 23.6 kilometre marker. Category 4 are up and over the top, indeed. In fact, 14 riders now up and over the top in Category 4. It was De Grazia who went over in the lead with a chase group of 5. And you can see that group of 5 now with the gap down to around 4 seconds. My prediction is that group is going to become a group of 6. And they've got 17 seconds back to Lopez.
Yep.
So Katie Bago at the back of the group. They're chasing Gina De Grazia. De Grazia just putting a bit of a kick in at the moment. She's going through that
sprint, isn't she? So she's just sealing that sprint win by putting a fast time through there. That seals the sprint jersey for her. Then relax. Let the little group come together. And don't get caught by the 17 riders behind. And you've got that down to 6 riders coming on the climb. You've got sliding room if you're not going to go well on the climb. Or if you're going well, you've got a gap. I mean, the riders, they're all over the place.
Well, they are indeed. And Category 3 now are well and truly on the Hawk Hills climb. And you can see the damage being done to the group as well. And it is Bergin and Hadlock that are doing the damage in Category 3. Angel Hadlock right on the front with the red hair. Bergin close to her wheel, really pushing on strongly today. But the size of the pack, they may well have started to drop riders. But 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I reckon there must be still 10 riders in that group.
I think you're right. I was just doing a quick count up as well, and it looks to me like you are absolutely correct as they're making.
Could somebody please just take a photo of that moment or a recording?
No, don't.
In fact, I might cut that and just hold that for memory.
The day when I went, you were dead right there. Now, you might notice that we're going past some 53 banners actually at the side of the road. And I've got to say, a massive, have an amazing time. I know that it's a holiday in the UAE on Monday and Tuesday because it is it's Eid al-Etihad, which is the union holidays that are coming up. Fantastic to see that. And, of course, the UAE made up of those Emirates states and the union of that celebrated at the moment. So if you are out there, and I know quite a number of the team are as well, I hope you all get to enjoy the time out there. Lots of celebrations, lots of amazing, as you'd expect in the UAE, monstrously big celebrations across the country. So a happy Eid al-Etihad.
Well, Category 1 rolling strongly. They're not at the Hawk Hills climb yet. Category 2 are at the base of the climb, and it is indeed a big pack of riders going in, but very, very quickly riders starting to get dropped off the back because Gonzalez, Rua, Hill, look at that, Philippa Hill already making her mark on Category 2. Marb is a very, very strong rider and really one to watch. Gabby Nordin is there, Sarah Lundin is there, Manshandi is there. I think this is going to be quite similar to the Category 3. I'm making a prediction. We are going to see a group go over the top of the Hawk Hills climb together, but not a group of this size because there's still around 25 riders in this group.
It's not going to be 25 riders for long. You can see the Category 3 group on the right-hand side of the screen. I'm just chuckling because the production team have already cut that section when Emma got the number correct and have already sent it back in and through, I think. So there you go. Fantastic. The team here behind the scenes do an amazing job. I've got to say a massive thank you to them. Emma's chuckling as well because of the speed with which they've done that. Right. We are in with our leaders in Category 3 on the right-hand side of the screen, in Category 2 on the left-hand side of your screen. Remember, quick reminder, 4 waves of riders away. The first riders away are the Category 4, then 3, 2, and 1. The riders riding each colour of jersey represents the category. If the riders are riding with a coloured shorts, that means that they have won one of the categories or are leading it at the time. So if you see a rider all in green with green shorts, that means that they are the leader in the sprint competition. If it is a polka dot set of shorts as well, then guess what? That means that they are the climbing leaders. And when we get to the end, those points are all added up. You win your points by sprinting through and taking the fastest time through each of those segments. 5 sprint segments, all 200 meters long today. They're not always 200 meters long, but they are today, indicated by the green banner for the start and the finish. And you can see our Category 1 riders just alongside the bus there as the traffic has been shunted to the right-hand side of the road, the left-hand side reserved for our riders. Amelia Valt just going underneath that banner, and you can see that there is a green skin suit in the mix, and that is Emma Julie Dijhoven, who has got the most points in that sprint competition. The prizes, though, are not for those sprints. The monetary prizes, the top 5 riders individually in our qualifying rounds in each of our race categories, taking away the money for the finishing position at the end of the race.
Well, Catherine Tompkinson from Category 3, second fastest time, one of the gear goddesses, 16.8 seconds. Bonilla, 1.6 seconds back. So Tompkinson really pushing through there. Van Rossum on the top 3 as well. Pruitt and Haag from Category 2 in the top 10. De Gracia and Charlebois from Category 4 in the top 10. And Guerra just making the top 10, 2.7 seconds back. So it is a multicoloured leaderboard for the Golden Gate Sprint.
I was just enjoying the multicolour and golden there. There you go. Right, on with the racing. Whilst I'm revelling in the multicolour Technicolor. Technicolor is probably better given it's California.
Level things up here. I have made an incorrect prediction because Gina De Grazia is pushing on big style. Category 4 are now on the Spring Road climb, the first category to be so, and De Grazia has extended her lead now to 17 seconds. Well, it's now, look at that. So Gina De Grazia currently leading on the climb at 29 kilometres in Category 4, 14 seconds, 15 seconds back to Alzat, who's leading the group. Katie Bago on the back. So it is indeed De Grazia with a chase group of 5. And take a look at that. Because of the corners here, De Grazia is out of sight.
We saw Gina De Grazia taking on board some fuel at the very start of the show here, when we just kicked off. And Gina De Grazia, who has sprinted her way through, has gone on to this climb. Now, she's got 15 seconds lead on the chase group. She's got 50 seconds on the guys behind. That is a great lead to take in. And that means you've got a good chance, really, of pushing your way through big style to the top. And the profile of this course, it has sections with little rests on it. There's no big rest sections in here. But at the moment, Gina De Grazia, heading for 30k, it's going to be 5 to go. Got to keep calm, keep cool, but keep the pressure on. Category 4 leading the road on the road. Category 1, the chasers furthest behind at the moment. They're absolutely flying 24k.
I'll tell you
They're
something.
on the climb.
They are all desperate to stay in this group as they're well and truly now on the Hawk Hills climb. They're coming towards the top, and McCarthy, Guerra, Kolchinsky, Bruni, Jenny Eck is in there as well. Catherine Fua is on the group. Mel Bruni is there as well. We're in with Guerra. You can see her on the screen. As that group continues to push, Bjarhead is on there as well. It's still a big group. There's a small tail to it, and just a rider dropped off the back. Is it going to split? Can they stay together? The gradient has just come off at 2.4%. Can the group Concertina back together? Or are we going to have a smaller group go forward? But it's not going to be too much of a smaller group. It's still going to be around 10 riders, I think.
Absolutely brilliant riding here. It's one of those things, isn't it? Because all the climbs are backloaded at the end, we have this wait. And then when the G for go goes, my goodness, it goes. And over the top of the climb. This is really interesting. If you're going to push hard, because this is a short climb, you've got to push from the start. We saw that we were up at 6.5 to 7 watts per kilo, the power to weight ratio of our riders. We're seeing it go over 7 just as we come over the top here with an aim of breaking a group clear. And this is where it's really going to count, because once we go into the downhill, the gap will open between the riders as the speed picks up, even though the time gap might be the same at the top. So riders will be desperately scrabbling to get onto the back wheels of the rider in front to get into that draft. The draft on MyWhoosh is about 10 meters. That means you've got to get into within about 10 meters of the riders. The fastest time. We've not seen them leading the leaderboard so far. We do now. Hawk Hills Climb has shown the true colours of our yellow jersey wearers. Mary Kate McCarthy, the world champion, 2 minutes 18 seconds.
Well, Bruni, I tell you something, Bruni in second place. I've been very, very impressed with Mel Bruni following the World Championships. She really has been on sensational form. So has Guerra and Fua. Bjarhead, look at that, right in the mix with Velt, Kolchinsky, Menenzes, Bassoni, Larson as well. In fact, just that gap starting to form now. So it's looking like maybe 7 riders clear in a group, then just seconds on the tail.
And the time of Mary Kate McCarthy, 2:18.013, the fastest time up there today. She's beaten a course record. Are you ready for this? 2:18.797.
Well, there you go.
It's nothing in it. They are absolutely on form and on pace.
They are indeed, and it's looking like we've now got 3 discrete groups in Category 1 on the road. Well, in Category 2, they're just going underneath the banner for the Spring Road Climb. It's a huge group of riders who are still at the front of this Category 2 race.
And the time for Category 2 up here, the fastest time up the climb segment, 15 minutes, 19 seconds. That's the sort of time it's going to take them. The climb segment, though, finishes 500 meters before the summit and the finishing line. So they're not going to get to that finishing line until 500 meters beyond the climb segment. So even for Category 2, you're talking a long way up there. You've still got over a quarter of an hour of racing to go when you hit the base of that climb, but you know it can be a big, big effort. Now, back to the sprint. Category 1 just going through the sprint. That screen updated, and you can just see Bassoni went through on a 17-second, and it suddenly became flooded with yellow jerseys as the chasers and the pack come through.
Well, and the chasers are coming back as well, and the 2 groups behind, Group 2 and Group 3, are about to close down and become one large chase group. And I think there's about 10 Category 1 riders in this first group. So it is really, really interesting stuff. But through the Western movie set, it was indeed Francesca Tomasi who comes through with the fastest time. Hermansen, Bassoni, Van Hove, Penna, they are in the chase group.
And having ridden and raced in Italy, you do not do a tour of Italy. You do not ride in Italy and race well without being able to go up a climb. And Tomasi, she's currently riding strongly. This is a good sign for her when we come into that climb. It's going to be really interesting to see how it comes together and where the riders are in there, Emma, because making the junction is absolutely critical before they get to that final climb.
Well, but The first group on Category 1, Larson, Fua, Bassoni, Kolczynski, Menenzes, McCarthy and Velt. Oh, it's such a strong group and a big group at this stage. They are in the foothills now, coming towards the Spring Road climb. There is a I want to call it a climb. It's a bump. It's a bump on the run in to that 28.2 kilometre start to the Spring Road.
So the Spring Road climb will take us up towards our summit. The first riders over the line are going to take away the biggest prizes here today. This is our qualifier race. It's a 5-race Sunday Race Club in December. 4 qualifying races, 1 final. That means 4 chances to win the qualifying individual classification, 1 chance to win the individual classification and the team classification. Now, the amounts on your screen increase as the prizes go up for our riders. Category 4 moving to Category 3, you can see the prize money bumping up today to 3,600 AED for the win in Category 3. To win in Category 2, 6,000 AED today and 5 prizes per race category. The price is the same in the women's and in the men's race. That equality is there across the prizes as well as the coverage. Now, the biggest prize today, 10,000 AED for the win in Category 1, 8,000, 6,000, 4,000, 2,000 for 2nd, 3rd, 4th and 5th places. But, of course, all of our riders want a great race as well, and lots of racing all the way through. Now, 10,000 AED will buy you quite a lot of water bottles if you're down there. But by the power of Emma's exchange, we are going to tell you what 10,000 AED is somewhere in the world.
We are indeed.
Where are we today, Emma, for Emma's exchange?
Do you know, I'm going to do a number of little different ones for you. But as we have the Italian riders on screen, we're going with euros to start with.
Go on then.
2,578 euros. Should Tomasi take the win or any other European take the win in Category 1 today. If Fua takes the win, Swiss francs 2,398. If indeed someone from the USA takes the win, 2,722 United States dollars. And I'm just doing a very quick little look because in Brazilian real, okay, 10,000 AED is 16,264.
Wow. That's where you can exchange your money. If there was such a thing as Emma's exchange, it is, of course, virtual. It is just like our racing. We do have a real person with a real exchange rate. That is Emma. Unfortunately, you're not going to be able to exchange your money with Emma. Do go see somebody who is a genuine exchange person if you want to change your money from AED to another currency. And that's what our prizes are worth.
Well,
one rider who should be taking away the prizes at the moment,
Gina Di Grazia. Phenomenal job today climbing in Category 4, and she's climbed away from the rest of the race field. Isabel Alzat is doing a lot of work behind with Sonnerson to try and close the gap. In fact, it's a 3-rider chase group because Camilla Zaluga is there as well. Natalia Idzik has been dropped, so has Katie Bago. But Di Grazia today in California, it is all about Gina Di Grazia.
Come on, Gina. I love an aggressive attacking rider. I love people who put it on the line. She went for the sprints. I thought, no, so it's a sprint day for Gina Di Grazia. Oh, no, how wrong was I?
She was warming her legs up.
She was just getting ready for the climb. Went on the climbs, gone again. Now just got to focus and hold. And that's the tricky thing, isn't it? Is you keep the focus, keep the climbing, keep it there. You know you just need to get to that finishing line. At the moment, Gina Grazia, the leader on the road. Behind, though, attacked by Gabby Guerra, has started to break things clear. She's got Mary-Kate McCarthy on her heels
here. These two are
just
battling.
They have hit the slopes here at 29.5k. They are basically just short of a K into just over a K into the climb. And at the moment, look at this. McCarthy and Guerra
side
together.
by side, and look at the group that are chasing.
That is a quality pack behind.
Well, it's a quality race field behind because look at there's 4 riders chasing. Kolczynski, Bruni, Menenzes and Fua. God, it's 6 riders, world-class riders here. McCarthy and Guerra side by side. Menenzes, Kolczynski, Bruni, and Fua chasing Bjarhead just 8 seconds back. Larson having a storming ride today at 17 seconds. Fabulous riding and racing here in California.
Brilliant racing. It never fails to make our riders work harder. I'll tell you something. This course is testing the riders' legs. This climb is testing the riders' legs. Catherine Tomkinson on a great ride here, but seeing the chasing group trying to get back up to Kolczynski and McCarthy, that gap has gone, and the pressure really is on. And interesting to see Kolczynski starting to really wind at the front of that chasing group. Fantastic shots in between those Californian redwoods, the ancient trees. Looking down, they'll have seen some history in their time in California.
McCarthy puts a huge kick in to try and break Guerra, 9 watts per kilo. And I'll tell you something, Guerra is matching it because Gabby Guerra absolutely wants to take the win from McCarthy. And it has been a battle between these two week in, week out recently. It was a battle between them in the World Championships, and they are still side by side. And you can't take anything away from either of these two races.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, they are two absolutely amazing riders, going really, really well at the moment. And you can see Guerra out of the saddle in person, looking strong, focused, pulling on those bars, tapping out the rhythm, 80 the cadence. She knows where she wants to be. That's on the wheel of McCarthy at the moment, but McCarthy now at 3 seconds, and at the moment accelerating away, higher watts per kilo coming Mary Kate McCarthy. Now Guerra has to really decide, make a decision, and make it quick. Does she chase? Does she try and match McCarthy? McCarthy, though, has one mission in mind: leave everybody else behind. Do a Gina Di Grazia on the slopes of Spring Road and ride clear at the moment. McCarthy is doing that. It's 8 seconds to Guerra. Guerra now just, I think, settling into a rhythm. She knows she's in second place. She'll want to defend that because she has a chasing group behind, and Kirchner is going to see the express train of McCarthy go through. The New Zealand wonder on the slopes in action. And at the moment, I tell you something, it's going to be hard to pull that gap back the way McCarthy's going, unless McCarthy blows. And McCarthy, she's so experienced, she shouldn't do, but you can never discount it. We see it happening. But I think that's the sort of magnitude, unless Gabby Guerra really is being smart here, recovers, and then can kick again, and can kick again in a way that can pull back McCarthy, and she's not let that gap go too far. It's still holding it around about that 8-second marker.
Well, it is indeed, but there's still 3.7 kilometres to go on this climb, and it is a climb all the way to the top. So McCarthy and Guerra, the two riders leading the Category 1 race. We've got McCarthy on the left-hand side of your screen, Guerra on the right, and not even 100 metres separating these two riders. So Guerra doing the chasing, and I'm just taking a look. Bruni, Fua, Menenzes, and Kolczynski, the 4-rider chase group, all still together, a tight-knit pack. And this is going to be an interesting battle for 3rd, 4th, and 5th as well. And it is indeed Mel Bruni putting in the attack. She's, look at that, 8 watts per kilo from Bruni, absolutely digging in. It's Fua, that is going with her. Menenzes and Kolczynski just getting gaps slightly. Really, really interesting strategies and tactics on the Spring Road climb today.
The fastest time up here set by Mary Kate McCarthy, 13 minutes, 12 seconds. It could well be a day when she's going to beat that. Remember, from the end of the climb segment, there are a further 500 meters to get to the finishing line proper. Gina Di Grazia is the nearest rider to those at 33.6k in Category 4 lead. In Category 3 lead, well, we've got that group of riders at the moment looking strong. At least 6 riders in this group. They're at 33 kilometers, 1k behind. You can see that we have got the leaders in Category 2 at the moment. The gaps have been opened up, and they're starting to open the gaps here. McCarthy, the leader on the road at the moment, and looking very, very good. So Mary Kate McCarthy, our race leader in Category 1, chasing the leaders in Category 2, 3 and 4. The leading rider on the road, De Grazia, in P1 overall. Position 1, we shorten it to P every now and then. It's just quicker. It's quicker. I know some people don't like it, but you know what?
P1,
P1 or
P2.
Position 1 is quite simple. Now, really interesting to see. Polka Dot Skin Suit is going to go rocketing past Polka Dot Skin Suit. Simkin is seeing McCarthy, 2 climbing leaders here. McCarthy is almost getting quicker on the way. I mean, that speed, 27 kilometers an hour. She is absolutely flying. Guerra is chasing, but the gap between Guerra and McCarthy is continuing to open up. There's just a little bit more watts per kilo every time we see them, usually with McCarthy, a little bit quicker. Got to keep an eye on it, though. They still have distance to go, 2.5K for McCarthy to the summit. All the leading groups coming together. Quick reminder, Category 4 set off first, 5 minutes in front of Category 3, 5 minutes in front of Category 2, who are 5 minutes in front of Category 1. They're all going to come together. We will try and cover everything, all the results on mywhoosh.com/results, along with the splits. Now, De Grazia out of the saddle. The gap is at, you ready for this? 1 minute. 1 minute. 2 riders chasing. Zulaga, along with Sonnerson, have got a good gap here because that is about, it's going to be about 20 seconds to Alza and Idzik, who are in a battle between for 4th and 5th. Bago chasing to try and get into the top 5. And behind, you can see that the Category 3
head
leaders,
of Category 3 that
they're
are coming.
Closing in.
They've worked their way into the top 10 overall on the road. Takanis and Hadlock are right at the 4 of that group, and that Category 3 race we know is going to be a real battle going on. McCarthy and Guerra, well, they're working their way into McCarthy's at 34th on the road. Guerra's at 37th on the road. Really, really interesting to see what is going on. It's around 150 meters now between the 2 riders as Gina De Grazia just tops the Spring Road climb. It's just popped up on my screen in front of me. She's going to have 500 meters to go before she sees the finish line. She's going to be the first of our race categories over that line today.
So the run to the finish is critical. It is technical. And by technical, we mean it is not easy to get the pace and the power right. You've got to go hard over the top of the Spring Road climb to roll down and to take your lap of honour in. One rider who's going to do that. This is a rider who we knew could sprint, a rider who has turned those weaknesses into strengths. It's going to be a race win on Qualifier race number 1. Gina De Grazia takes the victory here in Category 4 and the first rider over the line.
Well, she is indeed, but take a look at this. This is Category 3, and Hadlock has pushed. She's pushed on, but Bonilla is on her wheel with Vasquez, with Tokanis. There's a big group of Category 3 riders still in contention as they come to the top of the Spring Road climb. They've got 500-meter run to the finish line, and this could be anyone's.
It could indeed. One rider who is clear at the moment is McCarthy, chasing hard to try and close down all the other riders on the road. She knows that it doesn't matter from the race Category 1 win, but she knows that here it is going to be absolutely key in terms of training, in terms of pace. Our next race leader, though, is Angel Hadlock. She's got 1 second gap on De Silva. There are 6 riders in contention. Hadlock leading them out. De Silva, Bonilla, Takanas, Vasquez, and Bago. Bago's out of this, I think, now, but look at this. They're coming over the top of Hadlock. Who's going to get the pace and the timing right? It drops down. It's literally around this left-hand turn. Now comes a sprint. Now's the time to open up. Hadlock's trying to wind this up, but she's got Bonilla and Vasquez alongside. This is going to come down to who's got the kick, who's got the timing. Is it going to be Hadlock? It's not. De Silva gets the timing, pips Hadlock over the line. It means she also takes the fastest time through. That is going to be an incredible finish, and we're going to get the repeat here in Category 2 as well.
We are indeed, because Norden, Giovanni, Marb, Svardström and Prado have all gone over the top of the climb. 5 riders in this Category 2 race all together.
And at the moment, it's Nordin leading this out from Prado. Gabby Nordin has got the head of the race here. She's ahead of Prado. She's not going to be passed, or is she? She's not. It is going to be Nordin who takes the win in Category 2. Welcome back to the top step, Gabby Nordin. And this is one rider who's no stranger to the top step. Been doing it a lot recently. She goes up the top of the climb. She's going to take the fastest time of the Spring Road climb. That is Mary Kate McCarthy on the left of your screen, right-hand side of your screen. That's Gabby Guerra still chasing hard here. 6 watts per kilo. She's got to keep the chasers off her back wheel. McCarthy, though, is into this roll into the finish. And if you wind it up here, you can pick up some incredible pace. 35 kilometers an hour for Mary Kate McCarthy, the world champion, the UCI Cycling Esports world champion, the #1 esports rider in the world at the moment. She's showing her strength. She's shown her power. She's raced right the way through California. She's going to hit the line. It's going to be another race win. Mary Kate McCarthy, Sunday Race Club qualifier #1, Category 1 winner.
Well, California, where dreams are made, and McCarthy going underneath the banner first. Guerra coming through underneath the UCI banner for second place, still picking up and putting in a sprint and an effort, just showing us what a class rider she is. Catherine Fua now riding away from the chase group. It's looking like Fua's going to come through for third place. She's dropped Bruni, she's dropped Menendez, she's dropped Kulczynski. Catherine Fua, there she is on the screen. She's got the last few meters to go now. The UCI banner is going to come around the corner.
Great riding by Fua, coming back into her best again. Really put the performance down in the World Championships to take away a bronze medal. Rise strongly through, takes away another top 5 here on the Sunday Race Club. Chased all the way by Merle Bruni. Bruni on flying form at the moment, just ahead of Menendez. Menendez already topping the climb and heading into this descent. The riders coming thick and fast. So let's take a look at the overall standings. Let's run you through the standings here. Emma, take it away.
Well, McCarthy taking the win. 59 minutes and 5 seconds by my count. And that's the fastest time ever for the women in California. Guerra in 2, 12 seconds back, then Fua, then Bruni, then Menendez. Welcome back, Jacinia Menendez, to the Sunday Race Club. Always great to have you here. Category 2, the win was taken by Gabby Nordin, German Prado in 2. And then we start to see Sophie Giovanni, Maria Marb, and Anna Svardström. In Category 3, it was Aileen Francisco de Silva from Angel Hadlock, Vasquez, Tocanis, and Bonilla, Elos and Bergin. Then in Category 4, Gina de Gracia took the win from Camilla Zaluga, Emma Sonnerson, Idzik Alzat Bago, rounding out that race.
As our riders continue to come in and through here. So Category 1, the sprint still unfolding. You can see the sprint leader. This is Emma Julie Dijhoven, just making her way in towards that line as well. All the results are up on MyWhoosh.com/results. They are live and updated. You can see our top 10 rounded out by Francesca Tomasi. Welcome to Sunday Race Club. Welcome to the top 10. You can see behind all of those categories shown. You can get all of the splits on the climbs, the times. You can geek out to your stats, heart's content. Emma will be doing that between now and next week. Be doing that between now and the next show.
Great plan for the end of the year.
Just you wait. Emma will be presenting us, no doubt, with more stats than will fill the average government department. We will find out what that is a little bit later on. Now, this has been qualifier race #1. Don't forget that this is a 5-race month. You have plenty of time to come and join us. So please download the app on iOS, on Android, on Windows. Make sure you jump on board, whether that's on the Sunday Race Club, on our racing through the week with our community racing, whether it's signing up for the Echelon League, whether it's jumping on board and getting on a training session with Emma. You can get in touch with Emma. It's at biking_Emma. You can jump on board and ride with me. It's at Matt Fixer Payne. On Instagram. Make sure you follow MyWhoosh at MyWhoosh on Facebook, on Instagram, at @my_whoosh on X. Don't forget, if you've liked the show, please do a few things for us. Like it, then do us another favor. Subscribe to it so that you get notified when everything comes live, including that great Inside the Ride podcast with Peter Sagan, for example. Then tell your friends about it and get them to do exactly the same as well. Really does help. Thank you, everybody who has subscribed. It's a busy day here in the studios for Emma and me. We are going to be back very shortly. The next race coming up is going to be the men's race. Please do have a watch of that. You can catch up with Emma next outside of Sunday Race Club. That is going to be on the coaching. That is going to be on Monday.
Tomorrow.
That is tomorrow. You can catch up with me before Emma, actually, for a change. If you're not going to watch the men's race till a little bit later in the week, because I will be on the UCI YouTube channel, along with a number of other feeds out and around the world for the cyclocross round number 2. But don't forget, we're back.
Shortly.
Thanks to our amazing team, shortly. So from Emma, from me, we will see you again in a few minutes for the men's race.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.